We're here with Mitch Hull, USA Wrestling's National Teams Director, who made the announcement this week that after 21 years with USA Wrestling, he's going to be returning to Wisconsin to move back with his family and then take on a new career challenge with the Wisconsin Regional Training Center. Mitch, talk a little bit about the opportunity you have ahead and the decision you made to move back to Wisconsin and continue your professional career there.
Yeah, well, Gary, the reality is I've had 21 great years here at USA Wrestling. It's been really a blessing to be a part of this, to be part of the Olympic movement, to be at an office in an organization that, where a pursuit of excellence is what you were dealing with every day with this organization and with the USOC, providing opportunities for athletes to reach their, potential in this sport. And it was just a type of thing where there's stages in life that you start looking at things at what's really important to you, and clearly, I've always said it's my faith and in my family, and then it's what I do for a living, and this has provided me opportunity. I've got two beautiful granddaughters that are 4 and 6 that my wife has been back there for the last 8 months, helping out, with the girls, and it's something that we feel is our calling and what's important. And I've also got the opportunity to go back to the university that I competed at and coached at and help develop a regional training center program that's separate from the university, but as we all know, are really assets to programs trying to pursue the NCAA title and provide Olympic opportunities for the athletes there. So it was really a great opportunity to do something different and yet do it in the same field, in the same type of pursuit with regard to the Olympics. So I took that opportunity and made that announcement yesterday.
So let's talk a little bit about 2 decades with USA Wrestling. You came in just prior to an Olympic Games and have been with us for 21 years. Just some of your thoughts and memories about being part of the growth and the major activities that USA Wrestling's had at the world and Olympic level.
Yeah, it's certainly been, like you said, a great experience, an opportunity to be part of, gosh, it must be, I think, 6 Olympics that I was, at and part of the U.S. team, always with a job to do. Whenever you're there to see and watch the Olympics, but you're part of that effort. You're there when Rulon Gardner beats Corellin. You were there for opportunities and things that people just dream about being at. And the other thing that was really important to me was, was to help the families that were there to watch their son, daughter, friend, relative do something that very, very few people get to do. It's one of the most honorable, I tell people, next to the military, being called an Olympian to me is the most honorable fraternity you could ever be involved in. And once you're an Olympian, you are an Olympian for life. And so that's what I cherish, and I know that that's important to the family. So I remember helping families to be able to see their family member pursue something and be part of something that most people only dream about. And those are things that the Olympics, the Worlds, working with people day to day that are always trying to do things to the best. This office is never closed at 8 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. It's always open before that and after that. And it's about getting a job done to help this sport. It's just a passion that everybody has. And really, I think the last 6 months, though, have been the most exciting because of what we're going through. And it's hugely important what we're trying to do to help keep this sport in the games. And if I remember any kind of moment, I would say of the 21 years, it's just been recently in May when the Iranian delegation decided that they needed to return to Iran, and we had an event in LA 3 days later that was in place that had to be done, and there was a group of people that met at 10:30 at night, and that phone call went till 1 in the morning, and the only thing that group was doing was trying to figure out how we were going to make this work. Nobody was complaining. Dwayne Morgan and the state people in California, Andy Barth and Billy Baldwin and John Bardis, and on. These guys, you know, Ravnak and Rich, and we were all figuring out how are we going to make this work. And we put on an event that I was tremendously proud of. And I left that call being probably as proud of this organization, what people were trying to accomplish, because everybody could have just thrown up their hands. And instead, they figured out how to make it work. And that's really what I'm going to remember.
Now, you were part of a lot of successes, team successes. We won a world title in all three styles during your time here. Individual successes, gold medals at the Worlds and Olympics, team efforts that have been extraordinary. And yeah, as a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, did you take pride in the achievements of the coaches and the athletes and all of the volunteers that helped build those programs?
You truly did, Gary. I'm glad you brought that up, because is that in behind the scenes, we all have jobs to do, but the reality is what I was proud of is that we had the coaches and the athletes that made the commitment, and the organization that provided them the opportunity, and truly the coaches that were committed to these guys. I have 3 national coaches, and all of them that I've worked with here. You know, starting at the beginning, you know, through Bruce Burnett and Kevin Jackson and the coaches that we have now, and Leroy Smith when I first started. All of them, every one of them, Mike Hauk, Frazier, Terry Steiner, and Zeke, it just made a commitment to this country and to these athletes. And what you're most proud of is all we can do truly is provide the opportunity. It's what the athletes did and the commitments that they made that really was about the success. It's you know, part of it is I was along for a great ride. And it was really truly on the backs of the athletes and coaches that achieved for this country.
So, hopes and dreams for the sport of wrestling moving forward. As you said, you're not leaving wrestling. You're going to be very involved, but just not in the role with the national governing body and at USA Wrestling. But we are in a critical point in our sports history. And what do you see for the sport of wrestling moving forward?
Well, it kind of goes to the second day after we heard the news, and you get over the shock and anger, and then you go to say, okay, it's just what we do in wrestling. How are we going to save this? How are we going to do it? Because, you know, the one thing that we'll do in this sport is we'll outwork anybody, and that's not knocking any other sport or anything, because I know I respect all the athletes that commit, but it's the organization that I believe and the people behind it that will outwork anyone. And it was just simply looking at this, that in the end, and I still believe this to this day, that what happened will be the best thing that ever happened to this sport. You know, the changes in leadership internationally, the changes in rules that make this sport more appealing, the number of people in this country that have stepped up that you normally wouldn't know, the people in other sports organizations and sports shows that keep saying, this makes no sense, and are saying things on behalf of the value of this sport. I see this. I see things getting better. I believe that however this organization structures this job, and the people that oversee it will do a better job than I did. And I believe that with all sincerity, that we'll be better in the future than we are today. And this sport, though it'll hurt dramatically if we're not in the Olympics, we're not going away. It's part of this culture. It's part of the educational system. Will it hurt? It will. But if we're not in this one, we'll get in the next one. But I still believe that we'll be in the Olympics. We'll continue to be, and the sport will be better September 9th than it was all the years prior.
Thanks a lot, Mitch, and congratulations on the new opportunity.
Thanks, Gary.